Ms. Kiggans.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you to General Brown and Secretary Austin, Mr. McCord, for being here with us and for your service to our great nation. I know we've had a lot of us speak today about the defense budget being inadequate and our concerns with that. Just noteworthy, a takeaway from a brief I went to about the pier that is being established off of Israel. $330 million was the price tag that we were given. 1,100 servicemen and women from Virginia who are being sent there, in my opinion, in harm's way. So that unilateral action, I sometimes question our priorities about how are we prioritizing the inadequate defense budget that we do have. But that raises a lot of questions. I want to echo some of the words of my colleague about the F-35 and had my staff print on our break about the GAO report, which is quite scathing if you haven't had a chance to read it. I was shocked to just hear about and read about the sustainment costs that have increased 44%. So they went from 1.1 trillion in 2018 to 1.58 trillion in 2023. So since 2014, they made 43 recommendations to improve the department's operations sustainment of the F-35 program, and that DOD has implemented only a few of those. So 30% remain unimplemented. So about 70% of those recommendations remain unimplemented. Do you know what the Department of Defense is going to be doing in order to get those F-35s off of the flight line in Texas? They're not doing us any good sitting on the flight line. I also want to put a shout out for places like Naval Air Station Oceana in my district, the East Coast Master Jet Base. We need those F-35. Let's get them in the fleet. Let's get the pipelines going for maintenance, for operations, for manufacturing, so that we can maybe reduce some costs that way. But do you have plans in mind for how we can get those F-35s into the fleet and reduce those costs?
Yeah, I can take partly because I was, as the Air Force Chief that I was 7 months ago, part of the conversation here was to make sure that we're getting what we pay for. And at that point, Lockheed Martin was basically getting to TR3, which is the tech refresh to get the Block 4, which is the capability required for our pacing threat, was not on time. And that's what's driving part of the conversation of being able to get those airplanes from Lockheed Martin and getting them out to the field so they can be employed.
And why is it not on time? And what are we doing to make sure that it will be on time?
Well, it's engaging with industry. And I'll just tell you, in my last role as the Chief of Staff of the Air Force, I sat down with 3 of our CEOs from our industry partners that have a key role in this to tell them we have a problem. We have a problem that we have to work together to make sure that we provide the capability that we're paying for.
Please provide that oversight and hold their feet to the fire, because I hear from my friends, the F-18 pilots who are flying only F-18s out of Oceana, that they're having to change their tactics on a weekly basis to keep up with the Chinese. If we have better equipment out there for them, let's get it in their hands so they can start practicing for it so we can be ready for that fight tonight. Also, I had the privilege of sitting on the Recruitment Retention Quality of Life Task Force, which I'm hoping that you all have a copy of the Quality of Life panel report that we put together with some great changes in there. I want to hear from you all how, we're going to do our part in the NDA side and implement these changes in that, but how are you all going to get these messages out to Americans that we hear you, we are working on those things, we've improved pay, we've heard you about childcare, we're expanding that, we're working on healthcare, spouse employment, housing. How are we going to get that word out to the American people? Because it hurts my heart when I hear from parents in my district who are veterans like myself who are telling me, I'm telling my kids not to sign up to be in the military. And as a mom of children who do serve, I know what life looks like out there for them. So we need to get this message that we've heard them. We are putting good plans in place for change. But I don't know if there's a new PR, some of our money can go to a big PR campaign, or what are we going to do to get that message to Americans?
Well, first of all, let me thank you for the tremendous work. And yeah, I have gone through the report, and my staff, along with the Joint Staff, is looking at it to make sure that everything that we can do to implement the things that you guys have brought forward, and certainly we're going to take that on. But I will tell you that we've done a lot. One of my areas of focus has been taking care of people. And that's why, again, I asked you for a pay raise in 23 of 4.6%. Last year, or 24, I asked you for a pay raise of 5.2%, the biggest pay raise in 20 years. Yeah. And this year, we're asking you for 4.5%.
And,
pay
and-
raise.
and happy to do those things, and I just have a few more seconds left, but I just wanted to share, my Naval Academy son said, they used to tell us that the Naval Academy might not have the best equipment or best resources out there, but we have the best people out there. So those kids grow up thinking that. We need to make sure we're taking care of those people, and I just really appreciate you prioritizing that. Thank you so much. My time's expired.
Chair,